Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Lucia Palme, you can call me Lucia. I'm gonna talk today about burnout and me. And this is a series of 3 videos and is my first series ever in the YouTube channel. So I'm very excited. I'm huge on mental health. I have said it before, I talk about it quite often, and it's something where I actively spend time educating myself, taking care of myself, or both. Burnout is one of the main reasons for poor mental health and for your day-to-day to be shit. Burnout is actually a state of mentally, physical, or emotionally exhaustion. It is serious. It is something that is common. It depends on the culture, but many people have it. To be aware of it is one thing. To be able to identify and heal it is another thing. If you are experiencing burnout, one of the symptoms is that you might find difficult engage with things that bring you joy, that you usually do and enjoy. Let me tell you my story. I got burnout at work. At the time I was working for a UK-based charity, one of the top 3 in the country. And I was in one huge project. It was around February. My manager came to me and said, look, we have a second project that needs a designer. And I took it over. I got 2 very big projects where I was wearing many hats. And that was the start of the end. I realized quite quickly that around that February, I started feeling differently. The feelings that I was, symptoms, things that made me feel uneven were feeling avoidant to work, to meetings, to anything related to specifically that second project. Feeling overwhelmed, that was 24/7. The same with thinking about work, that was the third one, really thinking after my 9 to 5 and then earlier in the morning. Another one was feeling an imposter and feeling that my work was not good enough. It didn't matter what I wanted to do, it didn't feel good enough or good. The Happiness Lab is by Dr. Laurie Santos. She's based in the US, and then I remember that they had actually a series like this one. They had a series in a few mental topics, and one of them was burnout. The topics in between them were really not related, but that doesn't matter. I was at work feeling all of this that I said, and I listened to it and could identify through the story of the guy how I had burnout. I was able to name it. It was a burnout. I monitored myself for like 10 days, really writing down, journaling what I was experiencing, when I was avoidant, how many times I did wake up in the morning thinking about work and then not able to sleep the last hour and 2 hours that I could. And being very introvert, I'm definitely a mix in between introvert and extrovert. I will stay at home after work. I will worry about what will happen the next day. I kept thinking how to do something about it. How? I realized that I was getting very avoidant and very cynical. That started matching up and really became very noticeable in my day-to-day. It arrived March. I couldn't handle it any longer, and I talked to my manager. I prepared the meeting and said, hey, look, I think that I got a burnout. The reply that I got from my manager was that the company is here and he was there to avoid burnout. I told him I already got burnout. I continue with, and I remember mentioning that I had some holidays booked. That was a Tuesday. I was going away on a Friday. On Wednesday, I couldn't. After a stand-up, so in the morning, we will really go into a meeting where everybody will say what they were doing in the project. This was the second project. I collapsed. I didn't want to go for the 9 to 5. I didn't want to stay on Thursday. So I set up another call with my manager that was quite immediate, and that happened. My manager really thought that I'm gonna quit, but what I said is that I couldn't. I couldn't look at this project, I couldn't do anything related to it, I didn't understand why, I was truly burned out. He said that I could take the Friday off, he will cover me up on that, and then Thursday. I traveled to the Canaries, and from there I traveled to Jordan, beautiful country, was very good. I came back and my girlfriend broke with me upon arrival. This just went off route. So not only I was burned out at work, I came back from holidays thinking, hey, look, I might overcome it. I don't have maybe burnout. And then I got this bad news. As you can imagine, didn't want to come back to work. I talked to my manager again. We agree on set timelines for the second project because I said that I only want to do one project and the second one really gets me the shiverings. I will explain this very clearly. I will spend time before going into a meeting with my manager to tell him what I was feeling. I couldn't control myself, or I couldn't really say everything that I wanted. He even suggested that there were a few options, so he will send them on email. He actually did, and we decided and agreed that I will off-board from the second project, and that will be in a month and a half. I kept clear that I wanted to move out the project and off-board in the agreed timeline. This was not easy for me. I had to keep a plan, I kept faithful to the plan. I also communicated to my manager that I asked for CBT in the UK, which if you have symptoms of depression or self-esteem, they give you 6 sessions for free. This really emphasized my point in that I was burnout and then I needed to off-board from that project. This happened. It did happen. As a first-timer burnouter, I was proud of myself. I was able to identify it. I was able to defend myself and push my boundaries and really state them. My manager understood it. He was very supportive towards the end of the process. He put me in more support that was available at the charity, and I will thank him for that forever. In my next video, I will tell you more about burnout, but for the time being, have you experienced burnout? Do you know what is burnout? Tell me in the comments below. Comment, like the video, subscribe. Bye now.